Okay, thank you so much for agreeing to have this interview, just like a discussion with me. Thank you so much. I
Yeah,
so much
sure.
I so much appreciate that. Can you introduce yourself to my subscribers, my viewers? Who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Max, and I studied in the UK in London, but now I'm back in Germany. That's where I met Idris.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. For all you out there, you probably might not know what we are doing today. Max is a friend of mine. I met on Instagram, and he's been wonderful ever since I got to know him. He studied in the UK, and I would like to share his experience about living in the country. So I'll be asking him so many questions regarding studying in the UK, and I'll be like probably adding my own experience here in Germany as well. He's German, but he probably lacks the knowledge of German education as much as I do. I mean, I think I'm more knowledgeable about German education than he does. Yeah. So, can we start from the application itself? How do you get information for the courses uh,
So the
in the
best way
UK?
to do it is you go to the websites of universities.
Okay.
So you can do a bit of research, like Google a few universities, and then you just go directly to their website, and they usually tell you all the important information about the course, the kind of courses they have, and when they start, how you apply, what the content is, all these kind of things that you really need to know.
Did you have to apply through an agent or you did it yourself on your own?
For my bachelor's degree, there is a service online that's called UCAS.
Okay.
And regardless of what university and what course you want to apply for, you go to that website and you put in all your details, maybe upload some documents. And this is how you apply. You pay a small fee. I think it was around £11. And
Okay.
that website then sends out all the applications that you already prepared. And
Yeah.
all the feedback from any of the universities will come through that one website, UCAS.
Okay. Like like there is a central admission body you have to apply through.
It's not a central admission body, it's more of a service.
Okay.
So when you want to apply, you use that one website, put in all your details, and they send it off to the universities. The
Oh,
universities then decide whether or not they want to accept you, and then they make you an offer.
yeah, I think I understand what you're saying now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So it's
understand.
just a
It's
way to
something.
make things easier. The university is the one that decides whether or not you are
Yeah.
accepted,
Yeah.
but you don't have to deal with every university individually.
Okay. I think we have something in Germany. I mean, it's just like the uni assist. I don't know if you know about them.
I do know Uni Assist because when I applied for my master's degree in Germany with my
Uh,
bachelor's degree from the UK,
from the
I had
UK?
to use Uni Assist.
Oh, even
Yeah,
for Germans that studied outside of Germany, asked to like have their documents checked by uni assist. I
yeah,
don't know that.
exactly. Because it
Oh,
was a foreign or is a foreign
a certificate.
degree certificate, so yeah, I had to apply via Uni Assist.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Comparing the two, UCAS and Uni Assist, um, they're not the same at all.
Oh,
UCAS is straightforward and easy to use.
I,
Uni Assist is
I won't take any I mean I just want you to be fair with the German system, like you just have to take it easy on us.
no, the things like the experience I made with Uni Assist, it's way too difficult, way too complicated, and it's quite expensive as well.
Oh,
So
uh,
compare £11, which is
to
around
75
€50,
75 euros now.
to a few hundred euros that you might have to spend on Uni Assist.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's about Ada. I think so. So you applied through this service, and like they checked your certificate, basically the UCAS, right? Uh,
Exactly.
and how much do you, I mean, like how soon did you get your admission? I mean, for a first degree
Okay.
after you might have submitted everything.
So the way it works is the bachelor's degrees, they usually start mid to late September, and the
Okay.
deadline to apply is somewhere around mid-January.
Mm-hmm.
So once you apply up until mid-January, I got the first feedback, the first result about 3 weeks later.
Okay.
And yeah, I was invited for an interview. And after that, um, I just got like every few days, I got like feedback from the university and whether or not I was accepted. So it was quite fast.
Mm.
I think,
I, I mean, in Germany too. In Germany too, they don't delay with admissions. I mean, I've seen people that got admitted within days, probably 3, 5. I don't know, 3 days. I'm not so sure. Like a week, 2 weeks. I mean, people get admission and they can proceed with the other
yeah,
steps. So, I mean, I think UK and Germany on that level, we are equal, or I mean, we should be better, if not. I mean,
yeah, I
The
would
German
say like
system should
maybe
be,
2 days sometimes, then it's a little
yeah.
faster.
So, and how do you have to go about the tuitions? Because I mean, you are a German and you're opportune to like study without paying. Why do you have to go to the to where you have to pay like huge amount of money?
I didn't pay anything. So far, I
Um,
haven't paid anything. The way it works is when you're a European citizen,
uh,
up until I think next year, you can apply um, to get the tuition fees paid by Britain. So once again, there is an online platform, and you put in all your details, which university you're attending, what course it is, your personal details, everything, and then they will um, pay the university. And at one point, a few years after you finish university, you start repaying them.
hmm,
But how much you pay depends on how much money you're making.
okay, it's just like a student loan,
It's
not
like a student
necessarily.
loan, but for tuition fees. Yeah.
I mean, just looking at it, like Germany, you don't have to worry about paying anything after studying. It's all free. In Germany, I would give that to Germany.
But the thing is, you pay around what 300, 400 every 6 months,
Yeah, but you can't compare 300, 400 to 5,000 pounds or 6,000 or
nine
something like
thousand,
that. Yeah, that's
nine
really,
thousand per year.
that's huge.
But see, the thing is, it depends on how much money you make. So
Mm,
if you're below, I think the threshold is around £21,000 a year. If you earn anything below that, you have to pay nothing.
okay.
And once you go above that, you start really paying very small amounts. It can be as little as 3 or 4 or 5 pounds per month. And I think that's just fair if you repay a few pounds per month.
Hmm. Yeah, well, I would take that. I would take not having to pay anything after landing whatever type of job I get after my studies to having to pay 300, 400 pounds a month. I don't know. I think Germany is a lot better when it comes to like the flexibility, the easiness it gives to like to student. While studying, I mean, not having to think about having to repay whatever loans they
Yeah.
might have gotten, like it's a lot beneficial. I don't know what took you to England. It's good to like study outside. I mean, you get to like experience the world and see students from all over part of the world. It's really nice. So, I mean, if for you, you have to pay 9,000. Some students do have to pay probably 18,000. I mean, if they're not
Yeah,
from
you do need to
European
pay a
Union
lot
member,
more if
probably
you're international student.
student from Nigeria, for example.
But Nigeria is still part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
So I think they have special studentships for Commonwealth students.
Yeah.
I know that from a friend who is from Rwanda, and I did my master's degree with him. He got a studentship because they had some student exchange program for Commonwealth states.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they have, but like, how many students do get that? Like, just a few among them get such opportunities.
That's true.
18,000, 20,000 pounds. Like,
But he
who
got
has?
paid, like he got paid every month. So basically, they paid for the tuition fees, and they gave him money to live every month.
Yeah, I mean, some people are some people are lucky. Yeah, there's a Chevening scholarship or something like that that sponsors
Chevening,
lots of
exactly. That's what it was.
lots of, I mean, lots of students from Nigeria. But like, how many people get that? There are just very
True.
few of them. So, how much do you need to, like, apart from the 9,000 you have to pay in a year? How much do you have to pay per month? I mean, how much do you need to owe per month to, like, cater for all other needs?
Okay, so for grocery shopping, for example, let's say you need around £50 per week.
I'm sorry. What city where did you live in?
In London, so one of the most expensive cities in Europe.
Okay, sure.
So
and how much did you call it? Sorry. How much do you need to have?
I'm not really sure how much I had per month. I know how much I spend. So when you just go to like a supermarket and you buy all the ingredients you need to cook and everything else you need, I think it's somewhere around £50 you need per week.
I mean, that's
so
like
around 200
pounds.
Just £200 per month.
I mean, I think it's still okay, but probably for a poor student like me, £200 is it's huge. And I cook at home. Like, I don't do. I mean, I've never eaten from the Mensa. Like,
Okay.
I do eat like every month from home, and yeah. So with that, I think I can manage 150, 120 euros a month.
The thing is, what I noticed, like when you do your grocery shopping in the UK, some things are cheaper, other things are more expensive than Germany. But on average, at the end of the month, you spend around the same amount. So let's say you buy the same items in one supermarket in Germany and the same items in another supermarket in the UK, you spend somewhere around the same amount.
Oh man, you just have to be you have to be honest with yourself now. You happen to live in London, and now you are currently in Berlin. And I want to believe
but it's the same, to be honest.
you understand the way the two system works.
I spend around the same amount.
Okay. I'll give that to you.
I spend around the same amount, so that's my experience. But admittedly, I'm talking about Sainsbury's prices. So Sainsbury's is a supermarket that is not expensive. It's somewhere like in Germany, you would compare it to Rewe or Edeka. But if you go to Lidl or Aldi, you can save more money. So I think it's the same, like going to an Aldi or Lidl in Germany and going to an Aldi or Lidl in the UK.
So what was the name of that the shop you mentioned? I mean, the cheapest store, Sainsbury.
It's not the cheapest. The cheapest are Lidl and Aldi, and you have them in the UK, and they're a lot more affordable than Sainsbury's, for example. So I think then you might only need like 35 pounds per week.
So why did you decide to like shop at this store?
The nearest Aldi was way too far, so it's not a place that you just like quickly go to get your groceries done and go back home. So that was one of the reasons. And the other reason is they're quite packed with people. It's really stressful to go in there and do your grocery shopping because it's always crowded.
Yeah, like so many people want to enjoy from such opportunity.
Yeah,
I understand. So how about the accommodation? How much do you have to pay for that?
So the accommodation, that heavily depends on where you want to live and what kind of situation you would like to have.
Okay.
So if you think about getting your own flat, you need quite a bit of money. To get your own flat or studio apartment, you have to spend around 1,200, 1,300 per month.
Oh.
Student accommodation is a lot more affordable, so you get your own room. That's what I had. I had my own room, and it was there was like an ensuite, my own bathroom. The only place I had to share was the kitchen.
Okay.
And
So
I paid around, what did I pay? £140 a week.
£140 a week. That'll be
That's it's like £560 a month.
Ooh,
So
man,
just above €600 a month for a small room, but you have your own bathroom, but you still need to share your kitchen with someone else. I shared the kitchen with four. Well, I stayed in student accommodation twice. Once I shared the flat with 4 other people, and the other time I shared a flat with 5 other people.
that is total rip-off. In Germany, though I mean, like before I say this, like, how easy is it for you to like have an accommodation after you've applied with the school? Like, is it every student that gets to have an accommodation?
So with the student accommodation, there are a lot more rooms available than what I've seen from German universities.
Yeah, probably because of the fees they generate.
Maybe. Because like just around the campus that I studied on, within walking distance, they had 1, 2, 3, 4 different buildings. No, not 4 different buildings, but 4 different sites with student accommodation. And each site had multiple buildings. And it was easy to get the room because, once again, you go online, there was a platform, you book the room, pay a deposit, and depending on like the date you set when you want to move in, you go there, pick up the keys, and you move in.
Yeah, it's a good business. I mean, why shouldn't they have something like that? I think in Germany, the only disadvantage about having a student accommodation is you might not be lucky to have one, most especially if you are living in a big city, in places like Cologne, Munich, and Berlin. I mean, you might not be lucky to like have accommodation within the Studentenwerk facility. So I mean, when you think about that too, I mean, you minus, you add. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it would be very, very cool if they can create a whole number of what you call like facility for students, so that you don't get to like go outside to rent, because it's pretty much difficult finding one, and a lot expensive. I mean, renting from the city too. So
yeah, I think that's something they really need to change in Germany.
So public transport, do you have to pay for it?
You do have to pay for it, but you get discounts. You get discounts, and depending on what university you go to, you might have a free campus bus. So we had a free campus bus, for example. It was a bus that ran from one campus to the next campus, and from one student accommodation to next student accommodation, just going around and around, stopping at different stations in the city center, everywhere, and you had to pay absolutely nothing.
Do you know we have something we call Tosca in Germany? You don't have something like that. We have something that can take us all over the state. Like in some cases, in some cities, I mean, some states, like you get the Tosca that covers. I mean, that allows you to travel to the next state. So I mean, Germany is killing the UK in all aspects now.
When it comes to that, yeah, maybe. True.
And
So
it
if
makes
you
like
wanted to like travel
more beautiful.
outside that route where that unibus was going, so yeah, you had to pay for public transport. But
Oh,
you did get discounts. You just go online and then you like put in your information of your union, everything, and they give you like a card, and then you get like I think 60% off or something. I'm not sure.
yeah. I hope you get your program done. Like you get your admission like as fast as possible. These are some of the things you need to recommend to them when you get to your school, to your new school. Like they should make life a lot easier for students. Because Germany, if Germany can do it, United Kingdom should be able to do it too. Well, for them, probably it's all about money. Here
Well,
it's
it's
all
because a
about
different structure
yeah, it's all
in
about
Europe.
salary. So I mean, I'm just saying this because you always find a way of faulting our system, our Java system, and our system is a lot more better than whatever you might have experienced in the UK. I want to believe. So
The thing is,
yeah.
like when it comes to like comparing UK and the UK and Germany with
Mm.
admission and everything, it's easier to do everything in the UK because everything is online. See, that's one thing that I don't like about Germany. It's a lot of paperwork. It's very difficult to understand sometimes, even for someone who's a native speaker and is a citizen of the country. Whereas in the UK, everything is
Yeah,
just online
you
and
are
it's
seeing another
straightforward. It's
citizen now,
easy.
right? Germany is ours. Oh, yeah. I mean, it can be quite disturbing sometimes, but at the end of the day, I think it's a lot more efficient than whatever they have in the UK. I don't know. I think it's really efficient. They have a working system here. You just have to know how it works and be able to be ready to abide by the rules. I mean, if you want to cut corners and do stuff, you might not have it well. But if you are trying to like follow the laid down rules, then Germany, you won't have problem in Germany. I can
I've
assure.
always found it very difficult dealing with the uni system here in Germany. As said, like I have the experience with Uni Assist when I applied for my master's degree.
Yeah.
And it was very stressful to do.
Hmm. I mean, I don't know because people from outside of Germany apply through Uni Assist. No, I mean it's not much of a big deal. Just have your documents around, have them certified, send to the school, probably apply online and send your document. Like it's just as simple as that.
Okay, so basically the lecture structure or the structure of the course, we usually had around 4 lectures per week
Oh, for your bachelor's?
for my bachelor's, but also
How
for my
about
master's.
4 lectures per week?
Around 4 lectures per week, but
Oh,
there were additional workshops, for example,
oh.
and some seminars.
Uh,
So there was a practical part that we usually attended, and it was like all mixed up with like all the lectures. Usually you had like a lecture, let's say, on a Wednesday, and then on
mhm.
Thursday or Friday you would have a workshop about the same topic that you had during the lecture.
And what kind of workshop is that? Like if I'm not wrong, you are a social science student, right?
Yeah, it's social science. It's media and communication.
So what kind of workshop do you have to do as a media communication student? And I'll do that.
So let's say we
Oh.
had a lecture about agenda setting in the media,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about how different types of media outlet try to influence the opinion on a certain topic. So we had
Okay.
the theoretical lecture, for example, on a Tuesday or something, and then the
Mm-hmm.
workshop on a Thursday or Friday. Um, we would have actual examples that we would analyze during the workshop.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, I don't really know if I had anything like that because most of my program I had my master's here, and it's a lot research intensive. So it's all about you researching.
Yes.
Probably you can always have a topic your lecturers will group you, I mean, you have your groups and you decide to work on that project. You talk to people, I mean, people in the industry and just sample for opinions and stuff like that. So I don't really think it's more of a practical work. Like in Germany, I guess lecturers tend to like leave you to your work. They leave you to your own initiative. You should be able to think whatever you want to do and how you would like to do it. So whatever
Well,
you
that's the
guys are
same.
able to
That's the
come
same in the
up
UK
with.
actually. So during the lectures, they only give you ideas,
Mm,
and during the workshops, you go through different examples. But
yeah.
for assignments, you either had to choose your own topic, or they gave you a list of different kind of topics, but you were asked to actually come up with your own example.
Mm,
So let's say you had to choose between 2 or 3 or 4 different theories. You choose
mhm,
one, and then you relate it to an example that was chosen by you, and give your own take on everything.
okay. And like yeah, how do I say, like how is the relationship with your lecturers in the UK? Like are they really involved in your work, or they just leave it to you?
Well, it really depends on what the subject is and how you want the lecturer to be involved. So
Okay.
we had something called like this personal tutor scheme, where
Mhm.
one person was that person that you always were able to go to, no matter what lecture you were talking about, no matter like what topic, you were always allowed to go to that one personal tutor, and then one personal tutor always gave you advice.
I think I heard something about this before from a brother that studied in the UK. Like yeah, I think I heard something similar to this. So it's really nice. I would like to know more about that.
It's a very very good relationship we have with our lecturers. Of course, some of them were better than others, but
Definitely.
generally they were always open. So you could contact them, send them an email, or knock on their office and just like sit down with them for like half an hour or something, discuss a topic. It would be very informal as well. Like you could just like sit outside, have a coffee with them, and talk about like your next assignment, because maybe you needed a bit of inspiration or something, or you faced a
Yeah.
problem that you couldn't really wrap your head around. So you just saw your lecturer or your personal tutor, sat down for a coffee, talked about it, and figure out everything.
Yeah, I do that too here in Germany. It's something something we do here too. Like whenever you want to talk with the lecturer, I mean, you can always you probably try to arrange a meeting, have a coffee together, talk about whatever you want to talk about. And yeah, it's really nice. And in fact, I would like to mention one thing that happened in one of my classes. I wanted to ask a question, but it was about like some previous topics, like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, can I ask this? Because it happens so date. And everybody in the classroom were like, man, ask whatever you want to ask. Because I'm coming from a system, like one of my lecturers, probably I wouldn't want to like to generalize I mean from Nigerian angle, but like one of my lecturers while doing my bachelor's then was like, you don't ask questions about
Oh,
previous classes. So because of that, I was so shy. I was shy and scared at the same time. I couldn't. I mean, but like it's so free. You're allowed to ask whatever you wanted to ask,
that
and
was
that is
the
really
same with us,
beautiful.
because you were always like also able to relate it to whatever topic you were talking about in that particular lecture.
Yeah.
Connect the topics.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is social science. I mean, you can always relate
Exactly.
things. Yeah. So I think it's I don't know how to put it, but it doesn't really encourage learning if your lecturer restricts you to like a particular topic. You can bring the topic of the last time to this. So I mean, it makes no sense to me. So how does the grading work in the UK? Can you share with us how the grading system works? Like, what's the highest grade to hand?
Well, the grading system, I'm not sure if it's that much different than German grade system. So basically, let's say you have an essay and you upload the essay, they have 4 weeks until they have to give you the mark. And you usually have to pass, I think, with a minimum of, I think it was 40%. And everything above 40%, depending on how much it was like grade A, B, C, whatever.
I don't really know what the percentage it is here in Germany, but I think anything we we use this sehr good like 1 to 5 scale with 1.0 or like 0 point something being the best result and 5 or 6, I don't know, but I hardly see 6 the lowest score. So the lower your score, the better it is for you. So imagine if you have something like 4. I mean, no students wants to have 4, a score of 4, a score of 3.5 or 5 or something like that. Because when you have that and your result seems big, then it's a trouble for you. So the lower it is, the better it is. Your result will turn out.
So yeah, it's very different then, because we had percentage. The thing is, in theory, you were able to get 100%. In practice, if you got 75 to 80%, that's it. Like, that's the best you can do, because especially getting above 80% is very, very difficult. Like, you have to be really, really good. I achieved that twice.
That's nice. I don't think I ever did.
So I'm really proud of myself. But yeah, let's say you're in the range of somewhere between 65 to 70 during your bachelor's, and anywhere between 67 to 74, 75 during your master's, you're fine, you're good.
I don't really know how to calculate the percentages, but like I know when you have like 1.3, 1.0, 1.3, 1.7, 2.0, like that, 2.3, 2.5. So I mean, for you to like secure an admission into most German schools, you have to have like a score of 2.5. So anything below that, like anything from 2.4 to like 2.3, 2.2, and 2.1, like it means you're I mean, to a considerable size, your result is quite okay.
I think what like a 2.0 in the German system is equivalent to somewhere around 65 to 69% in the British system. I think it's something like that, and everything like between 70, 75 is maybe like a 1.0, and everything above that is like almost to the level where you can say like you can publish it.
I don't know, but I think the 1.31 something, probably it's like 90 something percent. Like they're really high. Okay. I think the scoring in Germany is much more demanding. It's more demanding than the UK, I guess. I don't know. So after talking about these, what else should we talk about? Can we move to the campus or student life?
Yeah, sure.
Or you think there is anything we've left without talking about?
Yeah, just one thing that I want to ask you out of curiosity, because we were talking about the relationship between like students and teachers, and like whether or not it's formal or informal. Did you talk to your lecturers and call them like Mr. and Mrs. or did you actually use their names?
I mean, coming from my background, I mean, I don't think it's quite okay for me to like, because in Nigeria we place our lecturers like this.
Okay.
They are like small gods. So I never thought it okay to call any of my lecturers by their name. Probably some other students do that. I don't know. For me, even if you don't have a title, I would want to like assume you already have it. Some people try to correct you. No, I'm not yet a doctor. I'm a mister, or I'm a professor. Okay. I'm a doctor. I'm not today. So it's for me
so
that's
a bit more formal then.
Yeah. For I wouldn't say for probably a student like you, you grew up in such a system, so calling people by their first name, it's like it's okay. But I'm coming from a different system altogether, so
So yeah, we
yeah.
did that in the UK. Like we call our lectures by a first name. It was like a first
Yeah,
name basis. Whoever you met was on a first name basis. You
even
just
if the
like met
person
the
is
person was on a first name basis.
if the person is a professor.
First name basis. If the person is a professor, doctor, or something, first name basis. So if you are Dr. Professor Idris, I would still call you Idris.
I know, doctor. I mean, well, don't ever do that in Nigeria. you can get 0% for doing that.
It would have been really weird to say Mr. Doctor or Mr. something. It would have been weird. That's not how it works there.
Yeah,
you can even you can even go out. You can even go out for a beer with your lecturer.
That's cool. That's cool. We do have this special way of signing off in the class. Like we knock. Do you have anything like that?
What?
In the UK? Like when the lecture is about to finish, like we are rounding off a program, like a lecture, we just like it's sign of application, we do like this, something like this, we just knock. I mean, with the first time I witnessed that, I really like it. I mean, it's such a nice system. Like, so thank you so much.
You would just say, "Oh yeah, that was like a really interesting lecture or something," you know.
Yeah, I think it's just like a way of appreciating our lecturer after a wonderful a lecture. I find it very cool. I would want my lecturer and my students to do something like that for me to become a lecturer. And they should always call me doctor.
Once you go back to Nigeria, maybe that's something you can introduce there.
Seriously, I would like to do that. It's so nice. It's nice. What kind of offers does the university give or have like language courses?
Okay, so yeah, there are like so many different things you can do on campus and at university. So there is the support that you get for like anything academic. So throughout the year, you have all these different sorts of courses where you can learn how to do proper academic writing, where you can learn how to do proper presentations. You can learn how to do different kinds of research, and you just sign up, and sometimes it's just like a drop-in basis. You just go there whenever you feel like it. They have language courses, so if you want to learn another language, you can go there, let's say once a week, and you have like an evening course where you learn Spanish or Arabic or whatever language they may offer.
And
then
are they paid for?
You don't have to pay for any of it. I can't hear you.
You don't have to pay for any of them?
No, you don't have to pay for anything. Sometimes it's a drop-in, you just show up, you go there and you take part. Sometimes you have to register, but it's all free.
Like that. I don't know.
You're really quiet now. I can't hear you.
I don't think this is for all of Germany, but for my school.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Probably I'm blocking the microphone.
Probably,
I guess.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for my university, you have to pay for some of those programs. I mean, if you want to learn German, for example, I mean, if you want to learn intensive German, then you have to pay. If you want to probably like be part of the German being sponsored by the school,
yeah,
then it's free. And if you want to like learn other languages like Spanish, Arabic, and stuff like that, you definitely have to pay for most of the courses.
Yeah, that was all free over there.
Yeah, I mean, you are not paying anything for the tuition already, so I think it's not it's okay if they charge you if you're looking for whatever extra classes you want to learn. So
so like there were also like all these other things like on campus that just made student life a lot better. For example, we had not just like a cafeteria where you could just like get like different types of food, pizza, sandwiches, something healthy, vegetarian options, halal options. Like you had all these different things to choose from. We also had like an on-campus Starbucks.
And how much is the minimum meal? How much does it cost?
I don't remember what the minimum meal was, but usually, let's say I would get a meal and I would get like a coffee. I would pay somewhere around 6 to 6.50.
In Germany, you can enjoy such from as low as 250. €2.50. I had the government subsidizes
Yeah.
Mensa.
You
I don't
have
think you
these
have
cards that you have to top up. You can't
Yeah.
use your phone or your bank card to pay.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just like in the UK, you go to the cafeteria and you just use Apple Pay, and you don't have any separate card to pay there.
this is not separate card. This is your student card, and since you are hitting inside the school, I mean, I don't think that's too much to like ask for. Yeah, you
Well,
want
it's
to
a very different system there.
you want to eat from the school with I mean who cares if I have to pay with my Mensa with my Tosca, since the affordability of it, I mean, far outweighs any problem that comes with paying with my Tosca. Just have to recharge and go eat at the reduced price. I mean, that is really, really nice. Students can focus on other important things if food is taken care of,
True.
So I'll give that to Germany again.
But yeah, the thing is, I went to one of those like Mensas because I visited a friend on his campus in Germany. And
I wanted to eat for free.
It was a bit of like a hospital cafeteria. It didn't feel very welcome. Whereas like the cafeteria we had was a lot nicer. We actually you wanted to sit there for a bit longer, and
probably.
As said, like we had like our own Starbucks. We had each campus had like their own small supermarket.
We have something like that in our school too. Like we had like a bar.
Yeah.
On campus, like where we
had
can go
same. Like
relax.
We had a bar. We had like a pool table.
It was so nice. I mean, so I think it's like draw. It's 50-50 here.
Did you have a gym on campus?
Definitely. And how much do you have to pay for the gym?
It wasn't too expensive. It was like I think 20 or 25 pounds per month.
Per month? Oh no. So I think 20-25 hours is like 40-45 for the whole semester for 6 months.
Okay.
For 6 good months. you probably pay 200 at the end of the day. So Germany again. You guys come to Germany, don't go to the UK. So how did the students relate? Like, can you describe like the student life? How did they associate with themselves?
So basically what I found is that you always have like these groups, like you find your own people, and that's the people that you hang out with. That's what happened during my bachelor's, and that's what happened during my master's. I just kind of like found people that we got along, and we had this group, we always hung out, and we're still like in touch now. We're still having contact,
And is it like you talk to probably every class member? Like, is it like that, or you probably? I mean,
we kind of talk to most of them because you have like the lectures together, so you have some discussions, or you have a workshop together, so but you're not friends with everyone. Sometimes you just leave the lecture together, and then you just go your own way with the group that you have.
Like how easy is it to like make friends in a UK institution? Because this is something that really irks me, and I would really want. I don't know if it's like that in all universities, but like in my university, like students tend not to relate with one another like that. Like you just like two people going, a person going, and one, two, three. I don't know. Probably it's due to the nature of the town itself. Like you hardly see people. I really like it when students meet today, even if they're not friends, they tend to like greet the next day. But like that is not happening in my university. Like they see you, you just receive the lecture together. I mean, and after that, they
Yeah.
act as if they don't know you. I don't know if something like that happens in the UK too,
Not really. It's a bit different. So
or in your
like everyone I
university
know,
for
like
now.
I met them somehow through university, and we became friends that way, you know.
Mm.
But like everyone else, like yeah, you see each other during lectures, and um, you have like a chat together and everything, and yeah, after the lecture, you do your own thing. But you know, like still, when you see each other outside uni, you still like talk to each other. You still have a chat, you know. It's not that
Mm.
you're all of a sudden like you don't know each other.
Yeah, I mean, in my
You know, it's like
university,
even like
it happens
students
a
that,
lot.
huh?
It happens a lot in my university, and
I
it's really
I
odd.
think
Like I don't know.
compared to Germany, like in the UK, it's a lot more social.
Yeah,
Of
probably
course, you're
the nature.
not going to hang out with everyone and everything,
The
but
nature of the country too, probably because people are always living. I mean, just doing things on their own here in Germany. Not too
I
many
found it
people
like
are.
even like between different courses, you know, like
Mhm.
sometimes like you still have like a chat, you know, so you know you can't just like come up to like all these students like and you know just talk to them like
Yeah, yes, I don't know. Like it's more like the international students do your thing, Germans do their things. I don't know. Probably it's because probably for me or like, but it's I want to believe if you have the opportunity to sample for other students' opinion, probably black students. I don't know. Like they tend to be away from our other students, and it's not really cool because like if you are studying together, you should be able to like at least say I when you see each other outside, because you don't know where you guys will be going in the next few years. And I think studying together should at least make you more open to one another. Well, I don't think
so
it is like that in my university.
yeah, I think that happens in Germany a lot more. I mean, I noticed that in the UK as well, that certain people would just kind of like stick together because they have like a similar background.
Uh,
But generally, I do think like it does mix a lot more. So
mm,
like the people that I hang out with, like they're from all over the place. Like I met British people, white British people, black British people. I met people from Africa. Like one of my friends is from Rwanda. You know, so it mixes a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I probably it's due to my introvert nature, but like I don't know. I think some of my other friends like they are more sociable than I do. Like recount such similar words you call like people are just like to themselves. You see Africans working together.
Yeah.
Most times Indians on their own, Pakistanis with themselves, and Germans. I mean the opportunity we have to like study in an institution together, we really need to like maximize it, like try to come together with one another and make school life a lot more interesting for everybody.
Definitely.
I mean, I want to
I
believe the
think
UK will be much more sociable. I haven't been there, but like, shit, I know you guys party a lot. You don't go to school. Oh, yeah. So what job what opportunities are there for students? Like the job opportunities, probably what kind of jobs does student do to like take care of themselves or
so.
something?
I think with the jobs, it really depends on what area you live in.
Okay.
So if you're in a city like London, the opportunities are there. They may not be something that you really want to do for the rest of your life, but let's say you want to work in a supermarket for like you know a few years when you do your bachelor's or you do your master's. That's fine. A job like that is easy to find. And I
I mean,
know,
does the program allow students to like take up jobs like
yes, definitely,
alongside the program? Okay.
definitely.
Okay.
And
Can you?
they
Okay.
even have this like job platform. You log in, and then like you have all these like ads from local areas, and they say like, I'm looking for someone doing this, someone doing that, and then you just apply.
So
And you can
I
even
mean,
work at the university for the university.
yeah, I have
So
a
I know
friend.
someone, she became a hall connector. So it's
Uh,
basically a person who takes care of the students that stay in student halls. And
uh,
she's the person you can talk to like when there's like a problem, and they have like like these meetings, and all these things.
and the person gets paid for that.
She got paid for it. I think it was somewhere around £9.50, £10 per hour.
Oh, cool, cool. There are definitely job opportunities for students here in Germany too. But like, I don't know. Probably due to the language barrier. I mean, finding opportunities like you guys can have in the UK is a lot difficult. So students tend to resort to doing manual jobs like doing cleaning, working with DHL. I mean, for me
Well,
to I have to do all those things to survive. Like, and it's really difficult for you to like combine those with your studies, like having to like heavy jobs, then have to go for classes.
yeah.
Also hard.
Well, I know people who worked in restaurants, worked in supermarkets, or worked as like a waiter in a cafe. So
Yeah.
like
We
these
have
jobs,
to.
like
Yeah,
these are definitely easy to find, and it's a bit down to like the individual to be able
yeah,
to have like proper time management skills and everything.
Definitely. I mean, we have students even with the limited knowledge of German people have. I mean, I've seen African students like working in stores, selling stuff and doing all those things. I mean, yeah, people have I think people have more job opportunities here in Germany than they should in the UK. I don't know.
Um, I'm not sure because I don't really know anyone who applied for like a proper job in like some kind of media environment during university. So I'm not sure how it works
No,
there.
yeah. I'm not even saying like I know it will definitely be difficult to like have like a professional job while studying. I know that's difficult. I'm just saying like to we, 'cause, yeah, I mean as an average most especially student from developing countries, they tend to like rely on all these side jobs to like
Yeah.
to stay afloat. So if those jobs are not coming, then studying becomes difficult for them. I just want to like know how easy is it to get opportunities for those kind of jobs in the UK? How hard are those jobs?
You can
Ah,
basically always find something in like a shop or something, or in a restaurant. So
cool.
that's not really the problem.
That's nice. That's nice. That's really, really nice. So I think we talked about student accommodation and how about after studying, after finishing your studies, like what opportunities are there for students? I think the UK gives like 18 months or 2 years or how many years post graduate visa?
Honestly, I'm not really sure because as a European student, I didn't need to apply for a visa.
Okay.
So I'm not sure about that.
Here in Germany, I think it's 18 months. After that 18 months, like with the new law, you can, and once you have any kind of job whatsoever, I mean, it doesn't really matter if you get something from within your field. I mean, whatever type of job you get, so far you are paying taxes, I think you can always get your permit renewed. So it's really, really
Yeah.
nice, like one beautiful opportunity of studying Germany. If you want to stay, if you want to be a permanent resident, I mean, you don't need to, you just have to decide if that is the kind of life you want to live for the next few years of your life, or like staying in Germany after studying, you don't have any problem. Just pay your taxes, and they are not as high. I don't know. I don't think they are as high as what you guys pay in the UK, and just enjoy your life. And search for other beautiful opportunities. Yeah. So I give that to Germany again. UK is all about your money. Take your money, send you to your country. So, what makes studying interesting in the UK? What would you say
I
made it
think
interesting?
it's the culture, the mentality of the people. They're a lot more friendly, a lot more open-minded than in Germany, a lot more individualistic. So I think it's easier to really like figure out like what you want to do in life being over there.
Mm, a lot more individualistic. I think that would be for Germans, right? Germans have like.
I think the British people are a lot more individualistic than the Germans.
What do you mean by that? Like
It's
if
like
they say.
the way they dress, and it's like their overall appearance.
Mm,
So they focus more on like someone's individual personality rather than being
okay.
just like everyone else.
Okay.
I think
Uh,
that's something that I always notice whenever I'm coming back from the UK to Germany.
you
There's a
think
massive
Germans want
difference.
you think Germans want to be like other people?
Huh? Yeah,
You,
I have this feeling, and this is what I see, that Germans always kind of like to be just like everyone else, just like a mediocre kind of person. In the UK, they're a lot more extrovert, a bit more eccentric, so it's making life a lot more interesting. And because they're also more friendly and more polite, it's much nicer to deal with British people in your everyday life.
yeah, Germans are always going on their own. They don't want trouble. They don't want anybody. They just want to do their things, and yeah, and they are straight. Like you just have to give it to Germans. Like they are straight with you. When they like you, you know. When they don't like you, immediately you notice they don't like you. Like I was walking. I was coming back from work today, and I lost my way. I was walking inside like in the bush. I met some very nice old people. They smiled. I mean, when they saw me, they smiled, like the two of them. And when I moved like some meters away from them, I saw another two couples coming. And when I like the typical, they didn't greet me, and I know, okay, this is the type of person you guys are, and I don't need to bother myself to. So you tend to get good people and bad people like everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I just
Hmm.
think that, of course, not everyone likes you, but like when you go about your everyday life, and you want to have people that are friendly to you. Maybe they don't like you, maybe you don't like them, but there's certain qualities that you can have, that they should show you. And I think that's a lot more in the UK,
Yeah.
because here in Germany they can be quite rude, and it's not really nice.
I mean, I don't even have any problem with that. I mean, the only problem I have is for you to like see me and your mood suddenly changes bad. Like I don't want you to like me. I mean, you might decide to like or that's for you. But like don't be mad just because you just looking at me looking at me and you are bad, your mood changed like you. I don't want that. That hurts me a lot. That hurts me out.
Yeah,
I would say.
I think
So,
like what I noticed, like in Germany compared to the UK, people here, they pay more attention to other people.
mm,
So when you walk down the street, it's more likely that people just kind of look at you. Whereas in
mm.
the UK, no one really cares. Everyone just minds their own business.
But I don't know, probably you. I would want you to visit Nigeria to know. I mean, to really know, to know, to know, to witness people not minding their business. I mean, here in Germany, like people will probably they look at you, right, and people are looking at you. But like in Nigeria, people will look at you. They even talk to your face like. See the kind of dress you are wearing, like they criticize you to your face. So
But
it
that's
can
what
be
kind
that
like
bad.
that's what
So for
Germans
me, I don't.
sometimes or a lot
For
of
me,
times do as well. Let's say you like jaywalk, you just like cross the street when the light is still red. People will always comment on that.
yeah, but that is not cool too. Like you can cause an accident with that. The thing is, I think the driver of such a car, it's not at fault if if he eats anybody crossing the line. I mean, when it
You can't just
is
like
red.
you just cross the road whenever you feel like it. Of course, you have to pay attention to whether or not there is a car, but in the end,
Yeah.
you're the one who makes the decision whether or not you cross. Not alive.
Um, yeah. Where I live in airport, like people get to. Oh, I mean,
I can't hear you.
most people obey traffic laws here in airport. I don't know. Probably in Berlin, you have lots of how do I say it? Uh, disobedient citizens, I guess.
Not really. I am one of the disobedient citizens. That's why people keep commenting on everything I do.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I guess we are able to probably 80% of what we have agreed to talk about. We are able to talk about them, and I so much appreciate you sacrificing this huge amount of time just to grace this occasion. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.